My 13-year-old niece, Ava's words cut like a low-country breeze. Mom says if you disappeared tomorrow, no one would even notice. She giggled, tearing into the camera I'd saved months to buy her, her eyes glinting with mischief at her birthday party in Savannah. The grand parlor of my parents' home glowed under a crystal chandelier, the air thick with magnolia sweetness and clinking glasses, but I felt like a ghost. My mother, Susan, smirked, her pearls catching the light as she nodded, her pride in my sister Victoria's real estate empire blinding her to me. My father, William, laughed softly, his gaze locked on Victoria, their star, their legacy. 30 guests joined the chorus, their amusement a dagger in my chest. I'd given this family everything. Bills paid, Ava's school fees covered, yet I was nothing. Could I make them see the woman I'd become? Ethan's voice echoed, a journalist I'd photographed weeks ago, saying my lens saw hearts others missed. That night, I chose rebellion. Beneath a Savannah moon, I slipped my grandmother's silver ring into their rosewood mailbox, a note tucked beside it. Find it. My heart raced, knowing its secret would shatter their polished facade. As I drove past moss-draped oaks, my phone lit up with their frantic calls. They'd found the ring, and panic had set in. Why did this heirloom unravel their world? I was Emily Carter, 35, the unseen daughter, the sister who gave too much, the aunt whose dreams drowned in their scorn. Susan's smirk wasn't just cruelty, it was her shield, protecting her status among Savannah's elite. But I wasn't invisible anymore. That ring was my spark, a promise to ignite the truth they'd buried. The humid air kissed my face as I left, a fire kindling within. They'd see me now, not the Emily they dismissed, but the woman rising from their shadows. And what came next would haunt them forever. The shutter of my camera clicked, capturing a Savannah sunset, its peach and lavender hues a fleeting balm against the ache Ava's words left behind. Photography was my sanctuary, a world where I, Emily Carter, could freeze moments of truth. Yet, beyond the lens, my family's disdain shadowed every step. Susan and William, my parents, saw only Victoria, their beacon of success, her real estate empire a badge of their social triumphs among Savannah's elite. Their home, a Greek revival mansion, brimmed with opulence, marble floors, gilded frames, but felt like a cage to me. For years, I'd played the dutiful daughter, settling their utility bills, funding Ava's private school, all while swallowing their slights. Susan once tossed my childhood sketches aside, praising Victoria's clumsy watercolors, her voice dripping with bias. Some people are meant to shine, dear. Victoria's radiance eclipsed me, her penthouse tours splashed across local magazines, each headline a reminder of my lesser path. Friends whispered about my sacrifices, but never loud enough to challenge the family narrative. Photography, though, whispered back, its quiet power urging me to see myself. Weeks ago, at a waterfront shoot, Ethan, a journalist with eyes like storm clouds, studied my portfolio. "You see hearts others miss," he said. His words lingered like a soft tide. His belief stirred something dormant, a flicker of defiance against the role I'd been assigned. Beneath the family's polished surface, cracks hinted at secrets. Late one night, rifling through William's study for a misplaced lens, a document caught my eye. Numbers that didn't add up, tied to my savings. A chill ran through me. Was this the truth they'd hidden? I couldn't confront them yet, not without proof. Susan's insistence on Victoria's needs at every dinner, her subtle digs, photography's a hobby, not a legacy, gnawed at my resolve. Ethan's number sat in my phone, his offer to meet for coffee, tempting, but fear of their judgment held me back. Could I break free from this gilded prison? Savannah's charm, with its moss-draped oaks and cobblestone streets, masked the weight of expectation. Women at gallery openings admired my work, yet I shrank from their praise, conditioned to feel small. But Ava's giggle, sharp as a shutter snap, had shifted something. The ring I'd left in their mailbox was no mere trinket. It was a key to a truth I was only beginning to grasp. As I framed a heron's silhouette against the twilight, a question burned. What had they taken from me, and could I reclaim it before they struck back? Rain pattered against the window of my Savannah studio, a cramped haven where photographs lined the walls like silent confidants. The discovery of that document in William's study, a ledger hinting my savings had vanished into Victoria's latest condo deal, gnawed at my soul. Numbers scrawled in his meticulous hand confirmed a betrayal deeper than Susan's dismissive glances. My heart raced, each beat a drum of disbelief. Had they truly siphoned my hard-earned money, the fruit of countless dawn shoots and wedding gigs, to prop up Victoria's glittering empire? The ledger's cold figures screamed yes, but proof remained elusive. Confronting Susan felt like stepping into a storm. At her weekly bridge club, held in the mansion's sunlit conservatory, her laughter rang among Savannah's socialites. Approaching her, the scent of jasmine tea cloying, I asked about my savings. Her eyes narrowed, lips curling into a practiced smile. "Victoria's ventures secure our family's name," she said, voice low. "Your little hobby can't compare." The words landed like salt on a wound, her dismissal echoing years of favoritism. My prom dress sacrificed for Victoria's pageant crown, my art camp dreams traded for her private tutors. The socialites' whispers stung, their pity worse than scorn. Victoria's response was swifter, colder. A text arrived that evening, her words slicing through my phone screen. "Stay out of family business, or you'll regret it." Her threat, veiled in emojis, chilled me. Did she know I'd seen the ledger? Her influence in Savannah's elite circles could tarnish my fledgling reputation, a risk I hadn't weighed. Doubt crept in, eroding the defiance sparked by Ava's cruel giggle. Was I foolish to challenge their power, built on my silent sacrifices? A twilight shoot at Tybee Island offered solace. Ethan joined, his camera bag slung over a broad shoulder, his presence a quiet anchor. As waves crashed, he shared his own story, disowned by his father for chasing journalism over law, a wound that mirrored my own. "You're more than their shadow," he said, his gaze lingering, stirring a warmth I'd long forgotten. We lingered, framing the lighthouse's beam, his belief in my art a lifeline. Could his faith help me face this betrayal? Back in Savannah, the ledger's shadow loomed. Susan's bridge club remark, Victoria's threat, they wove a web I couldn't yet escape. My studio, once a refuge, felt vulnerable, as if Victoria's reach could shatter it. Ethan's card lay on my desk, his number a temptation to seek help, but fear of her retaliation gripped me. The ring I'd left, that silver spark of rebellion, now felt like a beacon calling me to act. As rain streaked the window, a new fear surfaced. What if Victoria wasn't just protecting her wealth, but hiding something darker I'd stumbled upon? The clatter of silverware filled the oak-paneled dining room of my parents' Savannah estate, a stage for their annual charity gala. Candlelight flickered, casting long shadows as guests in tailored suits and silk gowns praised Victoria's latest real estate triumph. Amid the opulence, my offering, a framed photograph of Forsyth's Park's iconic fountain, its mist captured at dawn, sat ignored on the gift table. Susan, resplendent in emerald chiffon, sidled up, her voice a velvet barb. "Really, Emily, a picture. Victoria's donation built a community center." Her words, laced with disdain, drew titters from nearby donors, their eyes raking over me like I was a misplaced trinket. Victoria, radiant in sapphire, seized the moment, her smile sharp as a switchblade. "Photography's cute, but it's not legacy," she declared, her voice carrying across the room. Ava, perched at the kids' table, echoed her mother's scorn. "Aunt Emily's just nothing." The crowd's laughter swelled, a tidal wave of humiliation crashing over me. My cheeks burned, but a practiced smile masked the sting, hands trembling as I clutched my glass. Years of slights, missed recitals, ignored achievements coalesced in that moment, each giggle a nail in my resolve. Later, in the quiet of the mansion's garden, the air heavy with jasmine, fury replaced shame. My phone glowed with a decision. With a few taps, I canceled every payment: electricity, Ava's tuition, Victoria's PR subscriptions, my silent support for their empire. The act felt like shedding chains, yet Victoria's earlier threat lingered, her text warning of regret now a specter. Had she sensed my defiance? Her sway in Savannah's high society could crush my studio's fragile reputation, a risk that quickened my pulse. Ethan's words from Tybee Island resurfaced, his belief in my art a faint beacon. At the gala, I'd caught his eye across the room, his presence as a press guest a quiet comfort. He'd whispered, "Your work speaks louder than their noise," before being swept into a journalist's circle. Could his support shield me from Victoria's wrath? The garden's shadows whispered doubt, but the silver ring I'd left in the mailbox gleamed in my mind, a talisman of rebellion. Susan's voice drifted from the patio, boasting of Victoria's next venture, funded, I now knew, by my stolen savings. The gala's glow masked their deceit, but my act of defiance had lit a fuse. Victoria's gaze, sharp and searching as she scanned the crowd, unnerved me. Did she suspect my move? As I slipped back inside, a chilling realization struck. The ring wasn't just a key to their financial betrayal. It might unlock a secret they'd kill to protect. What had I unleashed by daring to vanish? Midnight cloaked Savannah's streets in velvet as the engine hummed, carrying me away from the city's moss-draped oaks. The act was done. A silver ring, my grandmother's heirloom, nestled in my parents' rosewood mailbox with a note scrawled in haste, "Find it." Each mile deepened a mix of liberation and dread, the ring's weight lingering like a promise or a threat. Its tarnished band was no mere trinket. It was a key to a bank vault in Tybee, holding a safe deposit box stuffed with my truth, a letter detailing every sacrifice, savings drained, dreams deferred, and photographs of ledgers proving Susan and William funneled my earnings to Victoria's empire. A childhood journal, its pages brittle, lay among them, recounting how Susan forced me to abandon art school so Victoria could attend an elite academy. The words, penned in a girl's shaky hand, burned anew. A small coastal town, Tybee Island, became my refuge. A rented cottage, its porch creaking under salt-laden breezes, offered solace. Days blurred into weeks, spent capturing the ocean's moods through my lens, crashing waves, gulls slicing the dawn. Photography stitched my fractured spirit, each click a step toward reclaiming myself. Yet Victoria's threat from the gala, "You'll regret it," echoed, a shadow over my peace. Had she sensed my rebellion? Her influence could ruin my studio, a fear that kept sleep at bay. A chance encounter shifted the tide. At a seaside cafe, the aroma of coffee mingling with sea spray, Ethan appeared, his journalist's notebook tucked under his arm. He'd tracked me down, drawn by a tip about my disappearance. "Your photos deserve a stage," he urged, his storm cloud eyes earnest. Over coffee, he revealed he'd once investigated my family's business dealings, suspecting Victoria's rapid rise hid shady loans, possibly tied to my stolen savings. His words sparked a plan, a Savannah gallery show, unseen, to unveil my story. The idea ignited a fire, my heart racing with purpose. Could art become my weapon? Preparations consumed me. The cottage became a studio, prints of my pain, blurred family gatherings where I stood apart, stark ledgers piled high. Ethan's visits grew frequent, his laughter easing my fears. One evening, as we sorted photos, his hand brushed mine, a fleeting spark that quickened my pulse. "You're not just fighting for you," he said, "but for every woman they've dimmed." His belief mirrored my own buried strength, a reminder of the girl who once dreamed in color. Victoria's shadow loomed larger. A local paper ran a vague story hinting at family disputes tied to her ventures, likely her attempt to discredit me. Susan's voicemails, once demanding, turned pleading, begging me to return. The safe deposit box's contents, they must know by now, hold damning proof. Would they try to silence me before the gallery opened? Ethan's investigation hinted at deeper secrets, perhaps a scandal beyond my savings, tied to Victoria's deals. The ring, my silent rebellion, had set something unstoppable in motion. As dusk painted Tybie's horizon crimson, I framed a final photo, a lone egret, wings spread against the tide. The image mirrored my resolve, to rise, to soar. The gallery show loomed, a stage to expose their betrayal. But Victoria's threat, now tinged with desperation, gnawed at me. What if the box held more than financial deceit? What if my defiance had unearthed a secret so dark they'd do anything to bury it again? Dawn broke over Tybee Island, painting the cottage's weathered porch in hues of coral and gold, but the glow couldn't quiet the storm brewing within. The safe deposit box, unlocked by the silver ring, had been found. Susan's frantic voicemails confirmed it. Her voice, once sharp with disdain, cracked with desperation. "Emily, come back. We can fix this." The box held my letter, a raw accounting of every sacrifice. Savings drained for Victoria's condos, dreams buried for her glory, and photographs of ledgers, their stark numbers exposing William and Susan's theft. Tucked among them, my childhood journal revealed Susan's long-ago ultimatum: abandon art school or watch the family crumble. Each page was a wound reopened, proof of their betrayal etched in my own young words. Back in Savannah, the family scrambled to contain the fallout. William's texts raged, accusing me of betrayal, while Victoria's messages oscillated between pleas and venom. "You'll destroy us all." Their panic was palpable, a crack in their polished facade. Gossip rippled through Savannah's elite, whispers of financial irregularities surfacing at country club brunches. They tried to bury the truth, claiming I'd misunderstood the ledgers, but the journal's revelations, my stolen future, were harder to dismiss. Had they underestimated the weight of my silence? Preparations for the gallery show, unseen, consumed every waking hour. The Tybee cottage brimmed with prints. One captured me at a family dinner, a blur in the corner. Another showed the ledger's damning figures. Each image was a shard of my story, a testament to years spent invisible. Ethan drove from Savannah, his journalist's instincts sharp. Over a driftwood fire, he shared a chilling find. Victoria's latest deal involved a shady investor, possibly linked to my stolen funds. "They're scared, Emily," he said, his voice steady. "Your truth could topple more than their pride." His words fueled my resolve, but a tremor of fear lingered. Victoria's threats weren't empty. The gallery space in Savannah, a loft with exposed brick and soft lighting, buzzed with anticipation. Invitations had gone out to local artists, women's groups, and press, Ethan's connections ensuring a crowd. As I hung the final print, a faded sketch from my journal, torn by Susan's hand, a memory surged, her voice, cold, saying my art was a waste. The pain sharpened my focus, each photograph a step toward reclaiming my voice. Ethan lingered, his presence a quiet strength, his hand brushing mine as we adjusted a frame. "This is your moment," he murmured, igniting a spark that felt like hope. Victoria's desperation escalated. A late-night call from a mutual friend revealed she'd hired a lawyer, claiming I'd forged the ledgers to sabotage her. The accusation stung, but the journal's truth was undeniable. Susan's voicemails turned cryptic, hinting at a family secret I'd regret uncovering. What else had they hidden? The safe deposit box, now in their hands, only my evidence, but their fear suggested something deeper. A scandal tied to Victoria's investor, or a lie buried longer than my savings. Savannah's gossip mills churned, and I sensed the tide turning. The gallery show loomed, a beacon of reckoning. Women from local art circles sent messages of support, their stories of being overlooked echoing my own. Ethan's article, set to publish post-show, promised to amplify my voice, but Victoria's lawyer had contacted the gallery, demanding the event be canceled. As I stood on the cottage porch, the ocean's roar mirroring my pulse, a new dread surfaced. The ring had unlocked their betrayal, but had it also stirred a hornet's nest? What secret were they so desperate to protect that they'd fight to silence me before the show could begin? The Savannah Gallery pulsed with life, its exposed brick walls aglow under soft spotlights as hundreds gathered for Unseen. My photographs hung like silent sentinels, each frame a testament to a life eclipsed by family scorn. Stepping onto the small stage, heart hammering, I faced the crowd. Artists, women's advocates, and curious locals, their faces a sea of anticipation. My voice trembled at first, then steadied, recounting years of sacrifice. Bank accounts drained to fuel Victoria's real estate empire, dreams smothered to elevate her star. The audience gasped at a projected image, a ledger's stark numbers, proof of Susan and William's theft. Another photograph, my childhood sketch torn by Susan's hand, drew murmurs of empathy, its jagged edges mirroring my pain. Victoria stormed in mid-speech, her sapphire gown a stark contrast to the crowd's muted tones. Her lawyer trailed, papers in hand, but her eyes blazed with defiance. "You're lying to ruin me," she shouted, her voice cracking. The crowd stirred, but I held firm, revealing the safe deposit box's contents, my journal, its pages chronicling Susan's ultimatum to abandon art school. "This isn't just my story," I said. "It's for every woman made to feel small." Women in the audience nodded, some wiping tears, their shared stories igniting a collective resolve. Victoria faltered, her lawyer's protests drowned by applause. Ethan stood at the stage's edge, his article now live, its headline, "Savannah's Hidden Truth," splashing across local news feeds. He'd uncovered a deeper scandal. Victoria's investor, linked to my stolen funds, was under scrutiny for fraud, her empire teetering. My photographs, paired with his exposé, turned whispers into a roar. I spoke of the silver ring, my grandmother's heirloom, left in their mailbox as a symbol of freedom. It wasn't just a key to their betrayal, but to my rebirth. The crowd rose, their ovation a thunderclap, amplifying my voice beyond the gallery's walls. Savannah's elite recoiled, their social media buzzing with shock. Women from the crowd approached, sharing tales of family dismissal, their voices weaving a tapestry of solidarity. A local artist, her eyes fierce, vowed to host a follow-up show for overlooked creators, sparking a movement. Susan's absence was conspicuous, her voicemails now silent, but William lingered at the back, his face ashen. Victoria's lawyer whispered urgently, her threats of a lawsuit fading as public sentiment shifted. Had I finally broken their hold? Ethan joined me after, his hand steadying my trembling arm. "You've changed, Savannah," he said, his gaze warm, kindling a spark that felt like home. Over coffee earlier, we'd clashed over a photo's framing, our banter revealing a shared passion for truth. That spark, born in Tybie's salt air, now glowed brighter, a promise of something new. The gallery's energy, electric with support, mirrored my own awakening. Each stranger's nod, a reminder I wasn't alone. Victoria's parting glare, though, carried a warning. Her lawyer's papers mentioned further evidence to discredit me, a vague threat that pricked my nerves. The crowd's fervor drowned her exit, but her desperation hinted at stakes beyond money. Ethan's article suggested her investor's fraud ran deeper, possibly implicating Susan and William in a cover-up. The ring, my spark of defiance, had lit a fire they couldn't extinguish. As I surveyed the gallery, my photographs glowing under the lights, a chill settled. The truth was out, but Victoria's resolve was unbroken. What evidence did she hold, and how far would she go to bury my victory before it could spread? The final night of the unseen gallery show bathed Savannah in a hush, the loft's warm lights softening the exposed brick as guests lingered over my photographs. Susan and William slipped in, uninvited, their faces etched with a fragility never seen before. Susan's pearls were gone, her eyes red-rimmed. William's usual swagger had crumbled into a slump. Before the dwindling crowd, Susan's voice broke, pleading, "We were wrong, Emily. We pushed Victoria to shine for our own pride." Her confession, raw and trembling, laid bare their obsession with status, a pressure born from Savannah's cutthroat social circles. William nodded, admitting they'd siphoned my savings to secure Victoria's place among the elite, fearing their own fall from grace. The crowd watched, silent, their judgment heavier than words. A memory surged, Susan shredding my childhood sketch, her voice cold. "Art won't make us proud." The pain, once a weight, now felt like a spark released. Standing tall, my response was steady. "I gave you everything, but I'm done being your shadow." The words, calm yet unyielding, severed the chains of their expectations. Murmurs of support rippled through the guests, women nodding with shared understanding, their eyes reflecting battles fought in silence. Susan reached out, but I stepped back, the air between us thick with finality. Ethan waited outside, the Savannah night wrapping us in its humid embrace. Over coffee at a riverfront cafe, he shared his vision, a documentary series on women reclaiming their voices, inspired by my show. Our earlier debates over photo angles, over truth versus beauty, had woven a quiet bond, his laughter now a melody in the dark. "You're unstoppable," he said, his hand grazing mine, igniting a warmth that felt like a new beginning. The moment wasn't rushed, but it carried the weight of possibility, a dream Nora Roberts might pen under starlight. The city's cobblestone streets gleamed under street lamps as I walked alone, free from the mansion's gilded cage. The gallery's success had sparked invitations, workshops, commissions, a local women's group wanting my story. Victoria's absence tonight spoke volumes. Her empire, now under scrutiny, wobbled as sponsors pulled back. The ring, that small heirloom left in their mailbox, had done its work, exposing their lies and setting me free. Yet freedom tasted bittersweet, tempered by the ache of a family lost, even one so flawed. Ethan's documentary idea lingered, a call to amplify other women's truths. His belief in me, mirrored by the crowd's applause, had shifted something deep within. Savannah, once a backdrop to my invisibility, now felt like a canvas for my rebirth. The river's gentle lapping echoed my newfound peace, each step lighter than the last. But Victoria's threat, her lawyer's cryptic mention of further evidence, cast a faint shadow. Had the safe deposit box revealed all, or was there a darker secret still buried? As I paused by the water, moonlight glinting like the ring, a question stirred. What if my victory had only begun to unravel their lies? And what would they risk to stop me now? Savannah's dawn draped the riverwalk in hues of rose and amber, a quiet symphony as I aimed my camera at the city's stirring heartbeat. The unseen gallery show had spiraled beyond its brick walls, sparking commissions from coastal galleries and speaking invitations at women's empowerment forums. My studio, once a solitary haven, thrummed with clients drawn to a story of defiance, each booking a brushstroke on my reclaimed canvas. Ethan's documentary vision blossomed, our nights weaving plans beneath cafe string lights, his steady gaze fueling a romance that bloomed like marsh blooms after rain. We captured a sunrise together, his lens meeting mine, a silent vow of shared horizons. Victoria's empire crumbled, her reputation frayed as sponsors fled, rattled by Ethan's exposé tying her deals to fraud. Susan and William faded from Savannah's social whirl, their grand mansion now a hollow relic of their ambition. Local gossip painted them as outcasts, a fate I didn't savor but couldn't grieve. The silver ring, left in their mailbox, had kindled a truth too fierce to smother, its echo now my unshackled life. A women's art collective, ignited by the show's fire, welcomed me to guide emerging creators, their tales of dismissed dreams mirroring my own. Mentoring them, teaching the power of a lens, felt like mending old wounds, each frame a rebellion against silence. Their debut exhibit, inspired by Unseen, vowed to lift voices long muted, a legacy I hadn't imagined but now held dear. To every woman who's felt erased, I whispered, "Your light burns bright, no matter who turns away." The river's gentle ripple posed a challenge. Have you ever felt invisible in your own story? Will you rise to claim your shine? Savannah, once my prison, now cradled my rebirth, its ancient oaks murmuring hope. Ethan's warmth, the collective spirit, my camera's click, they wove a life reborn from embers. Yet a shadow lingered. An unsigned note slipped under my studio door read, "Some truths stay buried." As I framed a heron soaring against the dawn, a shiver took hold. What secret still hid in their silence? And would it hunt me down? Share your story of breaking free in the comments below, and let's lift each other's light.